my heart started acting up, and the midwife was like, yeah, we need to take you to high dependency right now.
It's real. Are you worth every bit of my love? Ooh, blow my mind. You really got me going. Lines collide like fireworks exploding. Color blind.
Hi. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to be talking about my labor and delivery. I'm just going to go straight into the gist. It's actually funny. So can't remember what day it was, but I was at my cousin's house eating jollof rice. Like, it's so funny because as soon as I got there, like, I wasn't even feeling like any kind of way. You know, I had no indication that, you know, this might happen. So there was no signs or nothing. I was just going over there to eat some jollof rice. All of a sudden, I just felt this warmth, like this warm fluid. And it wasn't a lot. It was just a bit, just trickled down. And I was like, no, can't be. Can't be. So anyways, I just like went to check myself and everything, and it wasn't a lot. It was just, oh yeah, by the way, this video might be TMI because, you know, we are talking about labor and delivery, and so, you know, this might be TMI. I'll try to keep it, you know, I won't make it as graphic, but, you know, it is what it is. So anyway, went to check myself, and, you know, I saw that, you know, I had a bit of a fluid situation. It wasn't a lot, probably like a palmful. I didn't think anything of it because I wasn't in pain or anything. Plus, I was there to eat my jollof rice and I hadn't eaten yet. So I was like, you know what, forget this. I'm going back to eat. So I went upstairs and to eat all of that. And then the next day, my cousin was like, can you just go into labor so I can take the day off work tomorrow? I was like, excuse me. First of all, I'm 8 months pregnant. So I still have like a whole month to go. So don't say that. There's some bits that are a bit foggy, to be honest, because there was just a lot going on. So I might not remember like details, but, you know, because I think I zoned out at certain points, so I might not like give you like the complete story, but I'll try and remember as much as possible. So then it happened again after I finished eating. Happened again. I had like another like flow of fluid come out, and it wasn't a lot. Again, like another palmful, and I was like, this is weird, like, you know. So then I asked my other cousin, and I was like, because, you know, she's had a baby, so I was like, I think just had my mucus plug come out, and she was like, let's not panic. We didn't really think much of it because, again, I wasn't uncomfortable or anything, so I just left it as that. You wanted to sleep, but I doubt you're gonna sleep with all this talking I'm doing. You wanna say hi to the people since you're awake? Huh? Look at my darling girl. Yeah, so then I came home, obviously, and then I started feeling like, not pain, just like bits of discomfort. And I was like, okay, I need to call my midwife, because they had previously told me that I have a lot of amniotic fluid. Well, I had a lot of amniotic fluid. So yeah, that in its own could like send you into early labor. So they were like, if you start to feel uncomfortable or anything like that, just make sure you call us, and, you know, blah blah. So then I called her and I was like, you know, I told her that, you know, I had seen some form of like show. They call it a show, but it's like when you have like when you have like a mucus plug come out. And yeah, so anyways, she was like, oh yeah, you need to come in, because if you've had a show and you are experiencing like mild cramping or whatever, you need to come in, especially given the fact that you have a lot of amniotic fluid. So just come in. So then after that phone call, then I started to feel a bit more. But the thing is, and obviously they told me this later on, like, as, you know, my labor progressed, but I have a high threshold for pain, so it was kind of difficult for them to monitor me without me being there, because they're like, are you in any pain? And I'm like, no. But really and truly, I could be experiencing like early contractions, but because I was able to handle it physically, you know, they had to like keep an eye on me, because they're like, yeah, you need to be here so we'll know when you're actually going into labor, because you won't be able to tell us because you're not in pain like that. packed a little bag real quick, called the Uber. The stupid Uber literally took us ages, and bear in mind this is like 1 a.m, took us ages to find him. So I'm like trying to find this dude. Eventually we find the guy, and then obviously when he sees me, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, blah blah. I was like, you know, it doesn't matter, let's just go, because at this point, whatever, innit? Bless you, darling. Bless you, darling. Bless you. Bless you. So finally get in the Uber and make our way to the hospital. Got there now, again, because it's 1 a.m, half of the hospital doors were closed, so we had to like circle to try and find an entrance. Finally got into the hospital, got to the, you know, maternity unit, and then they assessed me and they were like, yeah, looks like you're going into labor. And I was like, excuse me, what? Like, she said it so casually, like, yeah, we're gonna have to keep you, you won't be going home today. They said to me, you have to, well, no, you can't go home because, you know, it looks like you're going into labor, early labor. I was like, all right. That was actually my attitude to everything. Like, I was just so chill because, you know, I had been praying and all of that I really didn't want to be. Obviously, as the story progresses, there were moments that I got a bit, you know, panicky, but, you know, for the most part, I was pretty much, you know, God is in control, I'm cool. I can't really remember that much details, but we were getting close. Yeah, we were getting closer to her coming. And then one of the midwives literally said to me, she was like, you need to think of your pain relief method. And I was like, sorry? And then she was like, yeah, the pain you're feeling right now is probably at a 3, but, you know, when it really starts happening, it's gonna go up to like a 30. And you need to think of your pain relief, because if you put 100 women in one room, 99% of them are gonna have an epidural. So you need to figure out what you want to do. That's literally how she was talking to me. And I was like, I'm literally about to have a baby. This is not, like, even if you wanted to tell me to consider getting an epidural, that's not the way to say it. Like, you know, so obviously that's when I started getting scared, because, you know, my first time having a baby, I'm like, what do you mean? You know, and my cousin was there. My cousin was like, look, don't be scared. Like, if you're going to get an epidural. Like, you don't have to be, you know, you don't have to force yourself to do it naturally. Like, just go with your body and whatever your body wants to do. So then my mom was there too. So I was like, we need to pray. So we prayed. And, you know, because I was really afraid at this point. I'm not going to lie, I was very scared. So, you know, we prayed, and then after that I calmed down a bit. So, and she was like, yeah, she also said that, yeah, we're gonna have to induce you, and then I was like, ooh, and she was like, yeah, when we induce you, the contractions are even gonna be more painful. So I was so irritated at this point. So then her superior came in about 10 minutes after, and she was like, we are not going to induce you, don't worry about that, you just calm down and, you know, just relax and everything, we would monitor you, this, that and the third. Cool beans. After she said that, and she was in the room, the midwife that told me the stuff about the epidural was in the room. So after the supervisor told me that, she literally vanished. The midwife that was supposed to be watching me, she vanished for about an hour. She literally vanished. I was ringing the bell. So then she came back like an hour after, and then she just became a chatterbox. She was like, hi, oh my gosh, I heard you're Nigerian or something like that. I'm Nigerian too. Let me tell you, my mum this and my mum that. She started giving me a family history and all that stuff. And me and my mum were looking at her like, is this the same chick that was like, because when she came in, she was like, I need to clear the room and put everything into its proper place. And she was just so extra at the beginning. And then obviously after her boss told her off or whatever, then she just became the sweetest human being. And my mom was just like, okay. Me too. I was like, okay, you're Nigerian too. Cool. That's great. Nice. Okay. Kind of thing. But anytime she would leave the room, like, my mom and I would just burst out laughing. Like, is this the same lady that was telling me? Really and truly, she shouldn't have done that, because, you know, that could actually mess you up. Because imagine you have so many things going on in your mind, you're about to give birth, and you know your baby's actually coming early, and you know you're already dealing with that anxiety, and then here comes this chick talking about 900 women. I was so annoyed, but you know, I can't remember how many days I was in that room, but she still wasn't ready to come, and obviously I was still experiencing contractions, but they weren't like super painful. So then they were like, okay, we're going to move you to the maternity ward. You can't go home, but you know, you don't have to be in this room. You can go back to the ward and blah, blah. So I went back to the ward now, and then spent a couple of days there, I believe. And then the contractions were like, hello, we're here to play. Like they started getting intense. The doctor came in and was going to check me, and then you know, because I was like, okay, the contractions are getting a bit heavier, and she came in, she checked, and she was like, your cervix is still closed. And I was like, oh my god, this is like day something, I have no idea. So I'm tired at this point. When the contractions get like a bit stronger, they have to check your cervix, and that is the most uncomfortable thing ever. Like it's like this probe that is probably the length of this hairbrush. Sorry, it's got hair in it, that's gross. Probably the length of this hairbrush, and it's quite wide. It's about that thick. So then they put that all the way to check. Worst thing ever. That was even more uncomfortable than the actual birth. So anyways, they checked that and they were like, sorry ma'am, your cervix is still closed, blah blah. Cool. And then about an hour after that, I was telling my mom, the cervix is open because these contractions are too much. So then, you know, I was getting uncomfortable at this point because obviously the contractions were painful. On a scale of 1 to 10, the contractions were probably, for me, probably about 8, 9. I'm not gonna lie. 8, 9. They weren't as bad as I thought. Even probably an 8 for me. The doctor came back and she was like, okay, let's check your cervix again. I was like, oh, here we go with this bloody thing. So they did it and they were like, ma'am, you're 4 centimeters dilated. I'm like, that means it's go time. So basically when you're 4 centimeters dilated, you've gone into active labor. I think that's what they call it. So anyways, they whisked me off back to the room to begin the delivery process. When I got to the room, I'm so sorry if this story is too choppy. Like, I'm honestly trying my best to remember every part of it and for it to make sense. So when I got in the delivery room, my husband was like, oh, you're doing so great, you know, blah blah, all that good stuff. My cousin was there, and my mum was like, yes, you're doing good, da 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 da. So they checked me again, and then they're like, ma'am, you're 10 centimeters dilated. I was like, that's fantastic. So that means I can start pushing right. And she's like, yeah, so the next time, all right, it's getting real. The next time you feel the contraction, you need to push. And I was like, cool. Here comes the contraction. Oh my gosh, this hurts. Trying to push. And she's like, no ma'am, not like that. Like, you need to push like you are constipated and you're trying to push the thing out, push the poopy out. But you know, it's not poopy, it's going to be a baby. Bear in mind, like I said, because she was coming earlier than her due date, they had the neonatal team over there ready to take her to the neonatal unit to check her and to make sure everything was okay. So they're there waiting, like, waiting for her to come. And you know, so I think it was around 10 o'clock I started pushing, 10 in the morning. And they got to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, where's this epidural dude? Apparently that's what I was saying. And then the nurse was like, it's too late for that now. You're going to have to push, darling. And it wasn't even so much pain. I was just tired. Yes, I was like pushing for about 2 hours. And my husband was like, you're pushing so hard, I literally thought your neck veins were about to pop. I was like, what? She was like working her way down through the birth canal. Like, it's so weird in my body. I could feel her moving like lower and getting lower and lower. So on that last contraction, I was like, honey girl, you are coming on this one by force. So I pushed like with everything, and bloop, here she came. She came out, and when she came out with a whole bucket of water, like, psh, a lot of water. And my mom was like, oh my god, that's how much water she's been carrying around. Like, it was a lot of water. So yeah, but she came, you know, perfectly made by God. In terms of pain, I'm gonna be honest, for me, this might not be for everybody, but for me, the pain of actually, like, the actual birth, like giving birth to her, the pain was, it wasn't that bad for me. It was painful, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. Or maybe I just psyched myself out to the point where it is actually bad, but because I just psyched myself out so much, it wasn't that bad. But anyways, on a scale of 1 to 10 for me, the actual delivery was about maybe a 7. The contractions were about an 8. The contractions were more painful than her actually coming out. My midwife was amazing. Oh my goodness, she was amazing. You know those little fans that you use during summer? It was like someone put one underneath my dress, and my chest was going. And then my mom was like, what's wrong with your heart? Because I was hooked up to the machine, and then I looked up and it was like 200 and something, almost 300, and the midwife was like, yeah, that's not supposed to happen. And my mom was like panicking. My heart started acting up, and the midwife was like, yeah, we need to take you to high dependency right now. So baby went this way, I went that way, because you know they had to take us in the neonatal unit to check her. Then I went to the other side, I was wheeled to the other side to high dependency. Oh my goodness, this is where the hype like started. I thought I was done with the hype, but no, they took me to high dependency, hooked me onto this heart machine, another one, and then they put I don't even know what they're called, this tiny, I think they're also heart monitors all over me. And then they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to try and get your heart rate down, don't speak. I was like, okay. All of a sudden about 8 doctors came, no lie, about 8 of them came around my bed, and they were like, ma'am, we're gonna have to try it. Obviously they weren't saying that, but you know, that was like the whole vibe. They were like, yeah, we're gonna have to try and get your heart rate down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook you onto this and this and this, and we're gonna put this on your chest, you know, the little resuscitation thing that, you know, they put on your chest, and they're like, Claire, and it goes bam, the electric whatever, I don't know what the clinical term is, but they put that on me, I don't know why. And then they put an oxygen mask on me. And then they were like, it's going to be fine, you know, you're going to be okay, we just need to bring your heart rate down. Cool. So like, we're going to give you a dose of God knows what. I don't even remember what it was called, but they're like, you know, just try and sit still. It's going to be weird traveling through your body, but we're going to have to put this in to try and calm your heart down. They were like, okay, first dose is volume 6. So we're going to put this into you. So they put the cannula in. I still have some scars from my cannula, but obviously I can't show you because I'm carrying her. But a cannula is basically like a plastic tube that they put in so they can attach multiple drips to you. They put that in, they put the fluid in through the cannula, and then it was just like it's just weirdest feeling ever. It's like your entire body just goes warm, and you can feel this like fluid traveling through your legs, and it's just weird. It's not a paralyzing feeling, but it's just a numbing kind of, you know. They did dose 6, that didn't work. My heart was still going cool. They're like, okay, we're gonna have to move it up to 12. And I was like, I'm head. And I was just so calm because I was praying in my mind, because obviously I couldn't panic because, you know, my heart was already doing what it was doing. So I was like, okay, here comes dose 12. So they did that, didn't work. My heart was still going really fast, and they were like, these times there's like 8 doctors around me, and they were looking at me like, and I'm like, what is happening? So they were like, yeah, that didn't work, we're gonna have to try we'll try another dose of 12. Let's try 12 again, and if that doesn't work, then we're gonna have to figure out another method to get your heart to calm down. I've heard. So this is when I was like, okay, come on, God, like, please just let this heart rate come down so all these people can just move. So anyways, did that, and then my heart just going and it started coming down. And then when that happened, all the doctors were like, oh, thank God, yes. After all of that, I stayed in the hospital for like another week. The most difficult part of that was the fact that she was in the neonatal unit and I was on the other side. And at 3 a.m. every night, the midwife would come in and give me an injection. And I hate injections. I can't believe I didn't tell you guys this. Okay, speaking of injections, you know, like I said, they had already told me that she was going to come early. So obviously to make sure she wasn't going to get any form of infection while she's still in, because the amniotic fluid was already trickling out, so she was now exposed, I had to get steroid injections. These injections are the most painful injections in the history of injections. And that was a doctor that told me that. The needle is like this big. It lasts for about 40 to 50 seconds. That's a long time for an injection. Oh, ooh. I think I cried. So that's basically what I can remember. Everything else from there, you know, was just, you know, the hype calmed down. And in a separate video, I'll talk about my body and talk about my body. That sounds weird. No, but talk about like the changes, you know, pregnancy and the effect pregnancy has on your body, and, you know, my experience with it, and, you know, the changes I've noticed while I was pregnant and after pregnancy and all of that stuff. That would have to be like a separate video, because I think this video is way too long already. At the end of the day, God is amazing. The fact that this little human came out of me, and, you know, she's doing so well and I'm intact. You know, because, you know, you would think, yeah, millions of women give birth every day, so, you know, it's just, and, you know, it's natural and something that the female body is designed to do. As natural as it is, it's still a very intense process. Like, it is deep, like, it's intense. So, you know, I'm just so grateful to God. You know, God really held my hand throughout this whole process, like from the very beginning of my pregnancy. And, you know, so that's that. And here she is. If you're pregnant right now, I wish you all the best. It's an intense process, but you can be fine. Everyone's experience is different, you know. Like, I had a total different experience than I thought I was gonna have, and I can't say if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It was just different. So just, you know, if you're expecting, you know, just know that God is with you, and, you know, He made your body to do this, so He's gonna help you out. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram if you want, at Cynthia.IG. Subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the videos I have coming up.